Karl Brauer, an automotive industry expert with 2 decades of experience. He also serves as an executive analyst at ICCars.com. Karl, how long do you think this strike is going to last? Is it going to possibly drag into November? And how damaging will this be for the U.S. economy?
Well, I could see it lasting quite a long time simply because they're so far apart between what the UAW wants and what the manufacturers are offering right now. And right now, I think they're targeting these 3 kind of strategic plants that make high profit vehicles, but they, I think, also have the ability to ramp up the strike on purpose. They're allowing themselves to continue to increase the pain level so that they can keep putting the pressure on the UAW, on the automakers. So it could easily go several weeks, and honestly, I think more than about 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to start to see an impact on things like consumer prices for new vehicles, because we've come off the highs when we were in COVID and we had restricted new car supply, but now we're looking at 40% of the potential U.S. market being restricted in new car supply again.
The big 3 have called the union demands unrealistic, but I was looking up the salary of the General Motors CEO. Do you know how much she makes?
Confirm for me. I know it's a lot.
She makes $29 million a year.
Yeah.
So if you are a worker and a union is representing you, for the CEOs, for these big 3 to say the demands are unrealistic, you explain that one to me.
Well, I think the timing has been interesting because we had a recession that forced a lot of the more aggressive negotiations and the reduced cost with the UAW's previous contracts. Now we've had a really good 10 years. The automakers have made record profits, and we're seeing it in the bonuses for the CEOs. Where it gets tricky is that this contract isn't reverse-looking, it's forward-looking, right? And they have to be prepared, the automakers, for anything, from continued 10 years of record profits to economic pain, lower profits per vehicle because of the increased EVs they're required to produce, and who knows what else could happen. So we're entering a cycle where the next 5 to 10 years could be much tougher for the automakers than the last 10 years were. And if they set themselves up for a high cost of production right now, we could find ourselves back where we were in 2008, 2010, where they're getting bailed out by the government. So it's tricky.
Yeah, it's tricky indeed. And you got to wonder if this gives other companies that are non-unionized, Toyota, Nissan, BMW, does that give them a big advantage now?
It does. It really does. I mean, they've already got an advantage because they have the ability to negotiate more aggressively on the pay, and they also don't risk these kind of strikes that reduce their production. So again, if you're losing 40% of U.S. vehicles that are made by the domestics, what's left are these import brands who are still continuing to produce vehicles at their normal rate. And we could see market share shifts, right? We could see people leaving the domestics because they need a new car and they can't find one on the lot, and they head to the import brands instead. So now the domestics aren't just losing a sale today, they're possibly losing market share for tomorrow.
All right, we'll leave it there. Karl Brauer, thank you so much.